Deciding the best things to do in Tokyo depends on how much time you have. And for your sake, we hope you have a month. The city's streets can feel like a game of soccer played at hyper speed, while calmer attractions range from temples, museums, gardens, origami classes, and bohemian sojourns. This city has more than enough going on to put you in a tizzy. So, words of advice: arrive with a game plan and prepare to get lost along the way, in a good way. Here, the very best things to do in Tokyo.
Number 10.
Q Asakura House. Built in 1919, the former residence of government official Torajiro Asakura is a marvelously preserved example of traditional Japanese architecture tucked into Tokyo's bustling Daikanyama district. For Y100, about 73 cents, you can wander through the building's stately wooden corridors, tatami-floored rooms, and beautifully manicured grounds. The Suginoma, cedar rooms, on the west side of the structure offer postcard-perfect views of the Japanese garden, particularly in the autumn when the maple trees blaze with color. One of the city's best-kept secrets, the property is an oasis of calm. It's the perfect place to escape the crowds for an hour or two and contemplate the passing of time.
Number 9.
Nakameguro. It's okay to visit the artsy neighborhood of Nakameguro just to see its seasonal appeal as one of the most picture-perfect spots for cherry blossoms in spring. However, stick around these charming streets, and you'll find a hip collection of independent cafes and boutiques that offer a laid-back alternative to the city's buzzing hubs. Sakura trees hug the Meguro River in Nakameguro's center, blossoming as they lean over the sloped canal-like walls surrounding the water. Once you've taken a moment to smell the blossoms and fill your phone with pictures, you'll find an array of independent boutiques and cafes branching off along narrow streets in either direction. Head to the corner-side Onibus Coffee, which serves single-origin espresso, and stop at SML, a boutique stocking delightful crafts, especially ceramics, made by Japanese artists.
Number 8.
Nakano Broadway. A Tokyo mecca for anime and manga-loving otaku subculture fans, the Nakano Broadway is a multi-story shopping arcade that has become a hub for niche collectors of all stripes. When it first opened in 1966, the complex epitomized the spirit of future-perfect economic optimism sparked by the Tokyo Olympics. Competition from newer shopping malls emptied its corridors of fancy boutiques in the 80s before Broadway reinvented itself as a center for used manga and anime models in the 90s. More than 300 tiny outlets are crammed into the aging edifice's bottom 5 floors, offering everything from vintage Godzilla and Astro Boy figurines to designer watches and creepy dolls galore.
Number 7.
Isetan is Tokyo's best and most famous department store. Its history dates back to 1886, when it started as a kimono shop. The sprawling flagship in Shinjuku is spread out over 9 floors, each offering something special. There's a big fashion focus, with local Japanese brands sitting beside international names. Don't miss a visit to the wonderful food hall on B1, which sells a variety of Japanese snacks and goodies, including beautifully prepared bento boxes for lunch.
Number 6.
Tsukiji Market. In October 2018, the world's largest fish market, Tsukiji, shut down after 83 years and reopened in 2 distinct parts. At the original location, it's pretty much business as usual, with street food stalls serving up everything from seared tuna to uni sandwiches in squid ink sticky buns. Just down the road at Toyosu Market, meanwhile, you can taste fresh raw fish in a series of sushi bars and peek in on the auctions, formerly held at Tsukiji, and live fish sales from a second-story viewing station. You can also tour a large green space on the rooftop, which affords views of the Tokyo skyline.
Number 5.
Nihon Minka-en Japan Open Air Folk House Museum. Though only 20 minutes by train from central Tokyo, The Nihon Minka-en Japan Open Air Folk House Museum, located in a suburb of neighboring Kawasaki City, feels a world, and several centuries, away. The sprawling grounds are home to 25 marvelously preserved Edo-era homes relocated from all over the Japanese countryside, spanning an array of styles from farmhouses to samurai houses, and includes a shrine, watermill, and kabuki stage. Don't miss the traditional indigo dyeing workshop in the middle of the park houses, a small shop where you can find indigo-dyed everything, from socks and sweaters to handkerchiefs and masks.
Number 4.
Nezu Museum. This serene museum in the Aoyama district, redesigned by celebrated architect Kengo Kuma, is a contemporary temple for traditional art. A long, covered outdoor path alongside bamboo-clad walls serves as a minimalist entrance, but once inside, double-height interiors and glass walls stretch over 40,000 square feet while keeping the experience intimate. And while the museum mixes contemporary design and traditional art on the inside, over 7,400 pieces, the outside counts too. The property is home to a stunning private garden that's worth the visit all on its own. The bulk of the museum's art was once the private collection of Nezu Kaichiro, the president of Japan's Tobu Railway. Since the mid-century, the collection grew and now comprises over 7,400 pieces.
Number 3.
Bohemian Tokyo in Shimokitazawa. Only one express stop away from the brighter-than-bright energy of Shibuya, Shimokita, what locals call Shimokitazawa, is like turning down the volume and switching to an acoustic track. It might embrace its bohemian style, with vintage stores on seemingly every block, but it doesn't lose that unmistakable, sophisticated Japanese style in the process. Sift through second-hand shops, sip coffee, and repeat.
Number 2.
Monzen Nakacho. The old-school neighborhood of Monzen Nakacho, known as Mon Naka among locals, has retained its colorful, salt-of-the-earth Shida-machi downtown atmosphere since the Edo era, in 1603–1868. Two main draws are the stately Tomioka Hachiman Shrine and the Fukagawa Fududo Temple, where you can hear the sounds of drumming and chanting from the temple's fire ceremony, held 5 times a day. These days, hipster coffee shops and natural wine boîtes nestle against traditional shops selling pickles, Japanese confections, and old-timey delicacies like tsukudani, bits of seafood long simmered in soy sauce and sugar. It's a terrific place to spend a lazy afternoon wandering the cobbled streets and alleyways en route to the Museum of Contemporary Art in neighboring Kiba. But at night, the neighborhood comes alive with an array of reasonably priced eating and drinking spots.
Number 1.
TeamLab Borderless. With the first iteration of Borderless in Odaiba, the art collective TeamLab created an endlessly Instagrammable, sumptuous, and surreal museum dedicated to multi-sensory digital art. Opened in 2018, the facility, which set the world record for the most visited museum dedicated to a single artist, closed its doors in 2022. However, Borderless 2.0 is set to relocate to a permanent location in the soon-to-open Azabudai Hills mixed-use complex in central Tokyo in early 2024. Borderless consists of installations that feature constantly morphing patterns and designs that seem to flow seamlessly from room to room in a maze-like space. Updated versions of some of the museum's previous works will be on display, as well as several new installations. A room filled with hundreds of multicolored lights that run along tracks continuously, and a series of interactive light sculptures, to name a few.